Right, I am in the process of painting my car again. I'm having a number of issues with this panel. That in the very corner was the first coat. I haven't coated much over that because I was having problems, so I haven't bothered doing a whole lot again. So the first coat went on very, very thin, and it looks like there's a lot of problem with the paint actually blending into each other. There's not enough, you see all the dots they haven't met. All these dots of spray paint haven't met. This may be right, it may be wrong, but this was over the whole panel and it looked like somebody had thrown water over it. It wasn't water mixed with the paint, it was very watered down paint mixture. That was mixing 120% thinners with 100% base coat. I did try that. I tried 100% with 100% before. I've been trying on various panels. I'm getting pretty much an uneven blotty finish all over the place. Some of it is okay. If I really pile it on really heavy, I'm getting a good fit. This is a practice panel. That is where I didn't have enough air pressure. There's very poor atomization now. I understand that, so I upped the air pressure a bit. But you can see that most of the way along, even when I did have good air pressure, I've got a lot of orange peel, a shed load of orange peel. I don't think for 1 second this will, if I were to put lacquer on top of it, I don't think for a second I'd be able to see my reflection very clearly. Even with 2K lacquer, I don't think, I've done it before and I won't be able to see my reflection very clearly. You see I've got a lot of orange peel there. It's either orange peel or it's poor, what's the word? I've piled it on there, I've piled a lot of paint on there, but I've got blooming. I think this is all by using too much thinners. I think it's by using far too much thinners. It seems to have dried out too fast. I've got a lot of blooming there. Quite a lot of blooming there. This is what I had earlier on, this sort of effect. I was spraying and it was landing on the panel like that. So I think that was maybe far too much thinners. That is where I've had the air pressure down too low. I understand that. I adjusted it on the gun and then wound the air pressure down at the regulator, and then I realised that I'd pretty much cut off the air supply. I didn't think it'd make much difference, but when I put the air pressure back up again, it did. This is what I had earlier on as well. That's the same thing. I think I used far too much thinners to start off with, and then replicating the thinners. The situation with the thinners, you see areas such as this, which just haven't filled with paint. There's a run at the bottom of it, and not too many reactions. I think it's okay. It's fair to say it's good, but it just didn't fill with paint. I didn't guide coat I should have guide coated my panel. I've got all sorts of issues across the surface. That'll teach me for not guide coating it. See that I've got that there. I saw that earlier on. I'm thinking it'd be okay. It looks flat enough, but no, I should have guide coated it. So that is what some of the issues are. But then you come across this panel, this part of the panel, and we've got very dark areas. I'll try and you can see it. Very dark areas, very light areas. Unfortunately, it appears to have bloomed. So again, one thing I think it's thinner. I think it's far too much thinner on the panel. This in the corner is looking very, very good. Like it would perhaps, well, I can see my reflection in that very well. Then I go to the rest of the panel and I lose my reflection. It's pretty much gone. In the corner, my reflection comes in. That is what I would expect base coat to go on like, but it's only happening in certain places. I don't understand why I'm getting good coverage in some places. That to me looks fine. If I put lacquer over that now, it would be brilliant. It would flow out very nicely. Wouldn't have very much orange peel. But with the rest of it, even where in areas where it hasn't clouded, it looks very, very hazy. This corner, for example, you look at this corner. I'm not. Is that just catching it just right? See, I can't. My reflection isn't as good there. It's not as good there. But if I go over to this corner, looks slightly better reflection now. I go to this corner, and there's a bit more. It's like the paint hasn't gone onto the panel properly. I've got rough as hell patches here. Loads of, it just hasn't flowed out properly. I think it's thinners. This is, I've got a trail of reaction there. Now I shouldn't be getting any reaction at all because this is Basecoat, which is supposed to stop reactions. The panel's been coated in a mixture of primer and Basecoat. And I've seen this used neat. Without any primer over the top of it. I've seen it used by a Russian guy on a video. He's done that. And I've got areas where there's Basecoat here and there's no reactions. This is nice and smooth. Basecoat there, nice and smooth. If only this bloody light didn't keep getting in the way of my camera. That is right. The camera angle's all to cock here. Some of it looks very nice and flat, and I can see the reflection in it, and the rest looks a bloody mess. Now, you can see at the bottom here, where there's some of the Basecoat here, it looks fantastic. I know it's not supposed to be shiny, I know that at all. I know that, I definitely know that. We're looking at places like this, and the paint's gone on. But the base coat has gone on very smoothly. I know it's not supposed to be shiny. I know you only get the shine when you put the clear coat over the top of it. I've got horrible issues such as this again with Basecoat. I don't know why. I don't know why that's happened. I'll talk you through the stages. To get to this point, I'll talk you through these stages. The stages, I've basically sanded the panel down with 600. Wet and dry. I've wet sanded it. I've left it to dry for a considerable amount of time, hours. I've then gone over the panel with a pre-wipe degreaser and lint-free cloths. This is a very fast drying degreaser, very fast drying panel cleaner, panel wipe. As soon as you put it on, as long as you don't put it flashes off very quickly. And I've left it for half an hour or more after I've used this product anyway. So, unfortunately, for some reason, I don't know whether whether I need to wash my gun out more. Maybe there's some grease inside my gun, my spray gun. But I took it apart. I cleaned it down well earlier on. Nothing's sticking. There's no excess build-up of paint anywhere. There was a little bit around the fluid tip on the inside. Without taking it to bits now, I've been through it thoroughly. I always do clean out. I always do flush thinners through it to begin with. Anyway.